All right, a video giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakakadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostle, elder bishops, great millstone. Much salutation to the brothers teaching the word for the hopeful elect, soon to be like the Most High will. You know, to the extended, hopeful multitude, shalom, blessings, men, women, and children. Getting right into it. Hopefully, it's edifying. They, reach to a point where they're having peace. They're having a peace deal. U.S. and Iran, and it says they reached an official initial. Man, I'm getting bad with my words. Hopefully, work on that more. Initial framework agreement to end their recent war, formally establish a ceasefire, and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The deal, mediated by Pakistan, was virtually signed by U.S. and Iranian officials, with a formal signing ceremony planned in Switzerland. Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. naval blockade on Iranian ports will be lifted. In exchange, Iran will clear mines and reopen the vital global shipping route. Ceasefire of negotiations. The preliminary deal extends the ceasefire for 60 days to allow time to negotiate more contentious long-term issues, most notably the fate of Iran's nuclear program. You see, a lot got to do with that, preventing them to, develop nuclear weapons. Hostages and detainees. The fate of foreign detainees remains a highly contested issue in the broader peace framework. Here's another thing about nuclear uncertainty. The U.S. has maintained that Iran must never produce a nuclear weapon, but specifics on how to dismantle or govern Iran's nuclear program are deferred to future negotiations. As and America got nuclear weapons, and pretty much is like, telling the little guy, so to speak. The little guy is like, no, you can't develop nuclear weapons. It's not that's unfair, and really it seems like they're saying, well, Iran, those kind of people are radical. They don't deserve to have missiles because they're crazy people, and anytime they could, shoot one off just because of, type of people they are. Well, Trump is along the same line. He's a madman. They've painted him, even his own people over here in America, they're painting him as a Hitler. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, like, Most High is going to make it do what it do, like we always say. They trying to upset prophecy at the same time. And I don't know if between the powers that be, from either party, I don't know if it's a lot of it's staged, because the powers heads, are more in cahoots than the people themselves. The people are really the ones that get food by a lot of this stuff. But Most High still is going to make it do what it do. Ecclesiastes 3:8, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And there's still, even with the negotiations, even with the peace deals, there's still a time of war. There's still a time where we're living in where we got nuclear capabilities from a lot of those parties, to where anything can pop off at any time. I mean, it could be smooth and then all of a sudden, you know, something happened, like along the lines of 9/11, along the lines of Pearl Harbor, along the lines of many events in history that interrupted the calm, interrupted the quietness out of nowhere that people didn't even expect because, and especially with Americans, now they know they could be attacked. Now they know you got doom preppers. So, it's not, America is not so confident as it used to be. Well, the citizen, even though they talk a good game, having confidence, you know, the patriotism is low in this place. Um, what else does it say? Sudden peace. I mean, and sudden destruction. I mean, scriptures don't lie. First Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. And they are signing peace deals. Then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And another thing, people are used to America's shenanigans, tricks, and deceit. So even though they may talk peace at the table, they're like, inside they're like, no, we can't trust America. And they know America is known for greed, backstabbing, broken treaties, negotiations. I mean, all the inhumane acts of violence and, anything of heinousness behavior, naughty behavior, you know. So, they keep tabs with America. They know what America's about, at any cost. And, the scriptures don't lie. The scriptures are prophecy. And I know they try to avoid prophecy. And then Trump is, I think, I don't know if it's false information, but they said he's selling a God bless the U.S. Bible. A God bless the U.S. Bible. But you know what? He's right in some respects because, the Most High blessed Esau through Isaac, and he got the dwellers of the fatness of the earth, and he got the sword to rule with. So he got those things in play right now. Those things, but they apply to him. He got a great military, and he has what do you call it? And he dwells in the fatness of the earth with his riches, and glorifies his riches, and do it through campaigning and with politics and democracy to spread. I think he got the best plan for the outcome of in the future of all mankind. Say that this is what direction we should go, and but they're watching him, of course, and then you got the issue with Russia too, and North Korea is always in the cut to talk shit. China is always part of the forefront of superpowers to where they say, they don't care either. And so a lot of America's at his bending knee, almost at his downfall. And Most High he's going to do all this is orchestrated by the Most High. You could call it dirty work or whatever, but it's all of the Most High, man. what did he say? He musters the host of the battle. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Let me see. Isaiah 13:4, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. You know, and it says, proclaim this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. So, Most High at any time in the midst of their negotiations of peace, or if they reach negotiation peace where the papers were actually signed, Most High could just stir up the spirits once again, or somebody could just, overthrow a table or throw a shoe, or, scratch out, the peace signatures, and then is all out war. And then America too has to worry about civil war. Its own citizens, because they're at the brink of they know all this is going down with, you know, they you have a people that say, well, we want to be treated fairly, we want rights, you know, we want to be treated as human, treated humanely, if that's a word. And they say, well, we're eating fake food and we're spending all our money, hard-earned money, buying food that's not real, spending all our money to where, we want to have our own produce and be farmers, but we can't. The land is corrupt. The air is polluted. You got people dying at a young age. People developing diseases because of how the earth is being taken care of, or not being taken care of. The careless, But anyway, so they know this, man. So it's coming to an end. Anyway, hope it is edifying. Till next video. Shalom.